What's up? In this video, we're going to talk about shooting faster, but there is a catch, right? In order to shoot faster, we need to shoot sooner, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means, so stay tuned.
Yeah, the other teams are moving in the background.
All right, welcome back. So you want to shoot fast, right? You want to be that guy on the range that just burns it down, right? So I'm not going to tell you to shoot faster. What I'm going to tell you to do is shoot sooner. That's it. Shoot sooner. Right now, what am I talking about, right? So got this piece of tape here that has a sequence of 3 shots. Just kind of visually demonstrate this, right? So shot 1, shot 2 in the middle, shot 3, right? Let's say it took me 10 seconds to shoot that course of fire, right? I'm not going to tell you to pull the trigger faster on any of these shots because that shot may require that amount of time to shoot that. What I'm going to tell you to do is shoot sooner. Everything in between the shots needs to be done quicker. So to illustrate that visually, just fold this up a little bit. So now, that same shot sequence, those 3 shots, I shot them at the same speed, but it's going to be way faster. Now I may have done that in 4 seconds or 5 seconds because everything that is non-shooting related needs to be done sooner so I can shoot faster, right? Now, what am I talking about? There's a lot of things we can work on, but I'm going to focus on 3 main areas that I think most people will benefit from. Number 1 is going to be body mechanics, right? Presenting the gun with good body mechanics so that I only have to use that last, 10% of the draw stroke to make sure the shot's acceptable, right? So body mechanics is going to be critical, and I'll show you a drill to work on that. Number 2 is going to be leading with the eyes, right? You're going to be 10 times faster if you acquire the target with your eyes first and then your gun magically appears there, right? I know you've heard it 1,000 times. I'll walk you through some drills that I do to make that work. And last but not least is going to be being ready to shoot when you're in position. I see a lot of guys running drills. They'll go to a shooting position, they'll get all stable, all comfortable, and then they'll present. You need to be aimed in and ready to go the second you are there or you're wasting time, period, right? So those are 3 main areas. Let me demo them and you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. All right, so that first concept we're going to talk about is body mechanics, right? I want to present the gun to the target without referencing my sights. All of that is going to be body mechanics, right? Now, in order to illustrate that, I've taken my pistol and I've taped off the sights. There's 0 referencing of the sights. I can't see the iron sights. I can't see the dot. I'm simply going to draw and use my body mechanics to aim the pistol, right? Obviously, they're not all going to be perfect shots, but I guarantee they will be on the target and they will be pretty effective, right? Then what that's going to do is to make me faster, right? I've already presented the gun where 90% of it is already on the target, right? All I have to do now is simply fine tune my sights, right? So let me take a couple shots and we'll demonstrate that. So I'm going to draw fire 1, holster, draw fire 1, so on and so forth, just to kind of give you a visual reference. So here we go. Shot 1. Shot 2. Shot 3. 4. And 5, right? So 5 shots. Let's walk down there and take a look. Make sure we don't lose the shots there. So there you can see I got all 5 shots kind of in that upper left-hand quadrant of the A zone without referencing my sights. Simply by aiming my pistol, I was able to get 5 effective shots on target. Right now, in order to make this faster, right, and a little bit more precise, then at the end, I would just use my red dot or my iron sights to verify the shot, and then pull the trigger, right? So as you can see, with good body mechanics, that's 90% of your aiming solution, right? Then just that 10% of fine tuning, and you're going to be faster, right? Now, how to do this? Dry fire, dry fire, dry fire, right? There is no way you're going to get fast at good body mechanics unless you do it over and over and over again, right? I recommend take a video camera, take your iPhone, whatever the case may be, videotape yourself doing good body mechanics and presenting the gun to the target over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. So you can close your eyes and have good body mechanics where they're aligned. So, all right, that is part number 1. All right, so the next step to being fast is leading with the eyes. And I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but most people I talk to really don't know how to train this, right? So I personally prefer to train that skill of leading with the eyes or transitioning at home in dry fire, right? So obviously I'm at the range, so I can't demo that there, but I am going to demo it here. So obviously cleared pistol, right? No magazine, and the gun is clear. So I'm going to demonstrate it here kind of on my truck. So what I do is I take painter's tape and I have 1-inch little squares on my wall spread out amongst my wall at the garage, right? And that's where I kind of do my dry firing at. In order to demonstrate it here, as you can see, I have a piece of tape here. I have one here, one there, and then one on the rear view mirror, rear view mirror there, right? So, on the side mirror there. All I do in dry fire is I look at a dot. So, for example, let's take a look at the one here on the back side of that rear passenger. And then I look at the dot and I simply present the gun so that my dot is on that square, right? Once I do that, I look at a different square, let's say the one to the right, and I bring the gun to it. I look at the one on the passenger, and it's there. Mirror there, and then I transition all the way back to the one on the rear of the bed. Boom, right? The key is that I'm looking first, and then my gun stops on that square. That's a very small aiming solution, right? It's a tiny 1-inch square, right? Now, it's super critical that you kind of take your time, don't overdrive, just simply look and have your gun stop. It's almost like a laser, right? Your eyes are the laser, and wherever you look, your gun stops, right? With repetition, you're gonna get faster and faster and faster, right? You're gonna look at a spot, and with good body mechanics, like we talked about, your gun's simply going to appear, and your sights are gonna be on there every time. If you draw your pistol and your sights are where you're looking, you're gonna be fast, right? That's just the way it works, right? So you need to lead with the eyes, right? If you haven't acquired your target with your eyes, you're gonna be slow, right? So at the beginning, I would recommend spreading those dots out as far as possible, right? So like having one here and the other one like 4 or 5 feet away, because if your dots are real close together, you might cheat, right? Your eyes and your gun are almost going to be working together because you kind of already know where the dots are at. So the further they are, the better, because your eyes are going to 100% beat the gun, right? But the goal again is wherever you're looking, your gun and your sights just automatically appear. It's like magic, right? Wherever I look, bam, my sights are there. If you can do that, you're going to be faster, and this is how you get there. All right, the last technique we're going to talk about is being ready to shoot the second you're in position, right? Don't waste time fumbling with all these things when you should be shooting, right? All that non-shooting stuff, remember, shorten the distance so that you can shoot sooner, and that's going to make you faster. Right now, we're going to demonstrate this. What I'm going to do is I have my range box set up in front of that target. I'm going to move laterally along the range, and I cannot shoot unless I am standing directly in front of that box. Right now, seems pretty simple, but it's going to work a lot of mechanics, right? Number one is I'm going to do everything non-shooting related before I get to that position. So that means I'm going to be punched out. I'm going to be looking at my target. And as soon as I glide into position, I'm simply going to verify the sights and pull the trigger, right? I've already looked at my sights are tracking. My gun comes into position, and we are good to go, right? So a couple of things that come into play here, right? Number one is, obviously, as I get into position, my footwork is important, right? If I'm moving kind of to the right of the range, I need to take my last step before I get into position with my left foot so that I can rotate into position. If I'm working this way to the left now, my right foot needs to be the last one to hit so that I can rotate into position, right? This is applicable for this drill, or, if you're on a tactical team, same concept, right? Let's say this is the threshold, right? I'm the number one guy coming in. I want to make sure that my footwork is accurate, so my last step before the threshold is my left foot so that I can rotate into the threshold and take the room, versus stepping into the threshold with my left foot. Now I'm standing in the threshold with my left foot forward, indexing, and then I have to rotate in, right? So footwork is important not only for the range, but also for the tactical application. So let me demo it a couple times. So I'm going to be punched out, I'm aimed in, I'm tracking, left foot, and shot goes off. Coming the other way, same thing, aimed in, shot. Tracking, just like that. Here's what not to do, right? Inaccurate. Get into position, punch out, shoot. If you notice, my pulling of the trigger was about the same, but it was way slower on that last one because I did all the non-shooting stuff when I was already in position, where I should have done all that before, right? So that is what I mean by shooting sooner and being ready to shoot, right? So that's kind of drill there. Just work getting into position. Again, this could be practice in dry fire, right? Set up a target stand where you're kind of visually blocking, and then work your way around it so that you're, as soon as you bump out of that cover, you're aimed in, boom, and ready to shoot. That's the drill there. Super, super easy, but super effective. All right, so that is kind of in essence the content of what I wanted to kind of demonstrate here, right? In order to shoot faster, all we need to do is shoot sooner. Again, how do we do that? Number one, good body mechanics, right? If we draw the pistol and 90% of the work is done by just body mechanics, we're gonna be faster, because in that last 10%, I'm just acquiring the sights. Number two is I'm looking where I wanna shoot, right? If I can look at a spot and my gun stops at that spot every single time, I'm going to be faster. And then last but not least is when I get into a shooting position, I need to be ready to shoot the second I get there. Again, how? Good body mechanics. I'm tracking the sights, or I'm tracking the target, so as soon as I get into position, I'm just verifying the sights, taking the shot, right? I'm doing all the non-shooting stuff faster, more efficiently, in order to overall be faster, right? I'm not telling you to pull a trigger faster, I'm just telling you to do all the non-shooting stuff quicker, and you're going to be faster. All right, so if you found this information valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, as it truly does help. With that, stay safe and train hard.